Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Hey, black people.
Well, I'm ready to be called a shill. What's going on, everybody? It's Kata, aka Krypto Short, the resident hater of everything that is comic book and movie. It's been a while since I've been able to make a positive video on a movie that released in the theaters. I should have made one on F1, but I've been busy having family time during the summer. But I saw Superman the other day at the early Amazon showing, and I have to say my expectations were low, but holy shit, they actually went above them. I have not liked anything that I've seen since they started releasing things for this movie. I haven't liked any of the trailers. I haven't liked any of the clips that's been released. James Gunn can't stop yapping his mouth and saying all these things that are turning everybody off. I didn't like the way that the suit looked originally. I felt like there were too many characters in this film for James Gunn to juggle them all, and I was seriously afraid of the classic James Gunn-isms where he undercuts a serious moment with a joke because he does not know how to let it breathe. He doesn't trust the audience to be smart enough to let that happen. And I will say that does happen in this film with one character in particular who I am tired of seeing and everybody defending. But for the most part, yes, you have all of these characters in this film. A lot of them are underdeveloped. Some of them, if you didn't know their names when you came into the film, you won't know their names when you leave. The pacing is very, very quick. Some things, if you blink, you will literally miss it. And when you start to think about the overall story, it gets very nonsensical. Like, wait, there's no way that would happen and nobody would know that this character was involved with it. But given with all of the flaws that this movie has, I walked out of the theater happy.
What?
I walked out of the theater thinking I just saw a character who wanted to do good and did good throughout the film. They made Superman. I've seen a lot of people going, oh, this isn't Superman. Oh, he's too bright. Oh, he's too corny. Look at him doing all, he's so campy. That's Superman. He says golly gee, gosh darn it in this film. He even saves a goddamn squirrel at one point. I love that stuff. In an era of comic book slop films that come out where you don't see the heroes be actual heroes and they just want to do other things to satisfy their selfish needs, I absolutely love the fact that I got to see Superman be Superman. He's saving people left and right. He's upset because the only thing he wants to do is save lives. He values the sanctity of life to a fault, sometimes to his own detriment, and that is what a hero is. I absolutely love that part of this film. David Cornsweet is killing it as Superman. I truly do wish that the script and the story that he was involved with was a lot stronger because this dude is it. I didn't really think that he would pull it off, but my God, he pulls it off.
Hold on to your butts.
I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this. I think he's a better Superman than Henry Cavill.
Why you pulling me? I'm right.
I get the feeling when I look at David Cornsweet's Superman, this guy wants to save my life. He is a good person. Does it have to do with how bright the suit is or how optimistic he acts? Two things can be true, but I will say I very much enjoy his portrayal of Superman, and I hope that when the sequel comes, because you know it's going to come, that somebody else writes and directs this film and gives him the proper respect that he needs, because the guy has it.
Let's get straight to it.
Hey, Future Kata here. I'm putting this at the beginning of the video because I didn't say it while I was recording. Spoilers. I'm spoiling the whole goddamn movie. So if you don't want to see that and you don't want to hear anything else about it, thank you for watching this long. You do know that I enjoyed the film and I do recommend you going out and seeing it in theaters. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but it does what it needs to do. Now, let's get to the spoilers. I'm going to talk a little bit about the positives and a lot of the negatives that I do have with this film. But before I do that, I just want to give an overall view. I think the film is a fun time. If you have families, they will absolutely eat this shit up. This is a kid's film through and through. If you've read Silver Age comics, it felt like James Gunn took that off of the page and threw it on the screen. This is the most comic book movie that I've ever seen. And that's not a bad thing in certain aspects. And then in other aspects, it is. I was pleasantly surprised that I enjoyed the film as much as I did. given all of the flaws that it does have. I feel like I'm one of those people that goes and watch a fucking Jurassic Park movie or something where it's clearly flawed, but somehow those people are having a good time watching that film. That's how I feel about Superman right now. I see the issues, I see exactly what everyone is complaining about, but in spite of all that, I still think it was executed properly, and it's a good time in the movies. And that's what I want. I don't want more Ironhearts. I don't want more Captain Blackmans, and I don't want any more of that Deadpool and Wolverine slop that comes on and everybody loves it, and then as soon as you leave the theater, you don't even think about it again. I don't want stuff like that. I want to see my heroes be heroes, and Superman did exactly what it needed to do. It showed us a person that wants to do good in a universe that's already established and gives him a platform for them to do more things with him. Usually I don't like that kind of stuff where you're just trying to set up for the future of certain characters and franchises and stuff like that. But again, I don't know how he did it, but it kind of works here. And speaking of works, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane is great. I love the chemistry that her and David Corenswet have on screen. It felt like at any minute, these two were about to start fucking right here in front of all these families in this movie theater.
I got my fingers crossed for a little freaky deaky.
But my complaint is you don't see enough of that. Like, they have minimal screen time together, and it leaves a lasting impression because of the chemistry that they have, but we needed more. I needed more of him and Lois, you know, trying to solve this problem together, or their relationship and all these other things. I need to see more of that in the future because those two have great chemistry. This is also a moment of showing that James Gunn just does not let scenes breathe. Like, Lois and Clark are having a heart-to-heart moment about their relationships and how they feel about each other, but in the background you see the Justice Gang fighting some big alien kind of thing, and Superman's just like, nah, it'll be fine, don't worry about it, they got it. And that's happening throughout the entirety of this sincere scene that is supposed to be grabbing our attention. But in the background, like some TikTok brain bullshit, you see this little eyeball and they're fighting it. I just felt like that was so unnecessary. Side note, I can never be an actor. There's no fucking way I'm gonna have my girl face to face with a nigga like David Corenswet. Nah, man, I gotta shoot your ass.
I think I ripped my jacket.
I shaved my legs in the car this morning.
It's impressive and dangerous.
And while we're on the subject of actors, I need to talk about Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is great in this movie. Granted, listen, I know his plot is stupid. I know he has a pocket dimension with monkeys that are bot farming and spamming out tweets about Superman to damage his image. I get how camp and stupid that is, and when I first heard the leaks, I thought it was dumb. In execution, I can't believe I'm about to say this, it works for me.
Boo this man!
Because that's some comic book shit, man. Like, when I was watching it, I'm like, this is goofy, this is camp. But it works, man. I don't know. I do feel like it would have been a more maniacal thing for Lex Luthor if all the people that he had in this prison pocket dimension were the ones that he had doing the tweets, you know, as more punishment for them doing wrong by him. But I still think that the monkey thing, it was fine. It wasn't something that lingered too long in the film. It was like, you see it, wow, there's monkeys spamming out tweets, and that was it. It wasn't mentioned at all after that, so I really didn't have an issue with it. But Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor was truthfully trying his best. Again, his story is stupid. He starts a conflict between what is not Russia and what is not Ukraine, and has them going back and forth, and he is funding the latter, which would be the Russia in this movie, so that when they destroyed the other country, he gets part of that country and he gets to be the king of said country. Almost like they took the plot from Superman Returns, where Lex Luthor is trying to make his own continent and then charge people and rule all over it. It's kind of like that, but not the same in execution. And it's revealed that that wasn't even his main goal. He just wanted to use that as an excuse to kill Superman because he doesn't like Superman. He doesn't like what he represents. Superman is the strongest being on Earth, and it makes him feel inadequate. It makes him feel small. It's an envy, jealous thing that Lex Luthor has going on in the film. And I like that. I want my Lex Luthor to be fucking evil. There is a moment in the film where he's crashing out because Superman escapes the pocket dimension and he throws shit on the floor and he tells people to pick it up, and then his girlfriend's doing something and he starts throwing shit at her. I like that. I want him to be a little asshole. He's evil and he's smart as hell. He's beating the shit out of Superman throughout the entire film because he's been studying him for 3 years. So it makes sense when you see Superman go toe to toe with somebody that Lex Luthor is controlling, and Lex is beating his ass because he knows his moves before he does it. That is Lex Luthor. He is smarter than Superman, and in a lot of fashions, he is better than Superman. But it's his ego and it's his jealousy and envy that always is his downfall. And I can't believe I'm saying this. James Gunn absolutely understood that. Yes, this is a young Lex Luthor, and he starts monologuing, which I absolutely hate that you do in films. And he's telling Superman his whole evil plan and all these other things. I'm not a fan of that. That was too much comic book for me, where it's like, okay, you don't have to spell out your motivations to us, even though it's excellently done by Nicholas Hoult because he is putting on a goddamn performance. I don't need you to tell me exactly what is happening. Me as an audience member, I'm smart enough to understand that he doesn't like Superman because Superman makes him feel small. I get that. And I've seen people doing comparisons like, oh, Lex Luthor is just Elon Musk.
Huh?
Rich white man doesn't mean that he's Elon Musk. Come on, stop fucking reaching. But I think that Lex Luthor has more room to grow. Again, I'm not a big fan of movies that do that, where they set something up to be better on in the future, but it does work here. And speaking of things that work, I can't believe what I'm about to say, but Mr. Terrific is the standout in this film. He was my favorite character. Point blank period. I absolutely loved him. He's played by the dude that played the guy in X-Men First Class. You know, the one who couldn't die but somehow died in the film? Yeah, he's put on a great performance. He has this stoic, very deadpan delivery of everything that he does, and it works. He's just seen as the tech dude. So when there's a moment where he has to have a fight with a bunch of LexCorp soldiers and Lois Lane is right there, she's surprised because she didn't think that he could fight like that, and he's beating everybody's ass, and I thought it was great. Everything that Mr. Terrific does in the film works for me. I like this dude. I do wish that we would have got more time to understand exactly who he is, besides the fact that he's super smart. And that goes into my major complaint with this film. A lot of the characters, I feel like, did not need to be here. For instance, we go to the Daily Planet. Everybody that's there, a lot of them didn't need the screen time that they got. Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane are the only ones who needed the maximum amount of screen time. And even then, you don't really know a lot about the other characters, including Jimmy Olsen. All you know about him is he's a ladies' man somehow. Cat Grant, what do you know about her? She has nice, pretty titties. That's all that you know. Perry White is Perry White in blackface. That's all that you know. I do like the fact that he had his cigar in the mouth the whole movie. That's camp as shit, dude, but I like that. This other guy who's like the soy boy of the Daily Planet, we didn't even really need to focus on him at all. I don't even know what his name is. A lot of these characters are just there and they're underdeveloped. And the time that we were spending with them, we could have been spending with Lois Lane. We could have been spending with Superman. We could have been spending with Lex Luthor. We could have been spending more time with our main characters than these side characters. And one of the ones that is just completely useless is Hawk Girl. Now, I like the actress for Hawk Girl. Do not get me wrong. She is very easy on the eyes, and she's actually a good actress. She was one of the better parts of The Last of Us Part 2.
Holy shit, I'm gonna be a dad. Yeah.
But in this film, she is irrelevant. If you didn't know she was Hawk Girl going into this film, you wouldn't have known when you got out of it, because the only thing that she does is fly around and fucking scream. She has no character. We learn nothing about her at all. She could have been cut from the film and nothing would have changed. Another one, Guy Gardner. Even though Nathan Fillion does a great job as Guy Gardner, you know nothing about him besides the fact that he's a dickhead and he's a member of the Green Lantern Corps. I feel like if you would have cut him out and replaced him with any other character, nothing really would have changed throughout this film. And then we got to get to Crybaby Metamorpho. I'm sorry, That shit pissed me off. I like Metamorpho. A lot of people don't even know who he is. I knew him from the animated series when I was a kid watching the show. So I was excited to see James Gunn bring a kind of obscure character into the limelight. But they turned this man into a bitch, dude. Like, there's a moment where Lex Luthor has captured Superman and he brings him into said pocket dimension. Metamorpho, as you know, can make anything as long as it is an element. So he makes kryptonite and he has Superman on the ground laying there. Lex Luthor brings in a civilian that helps Superman at the beginning of the film, thinking that Superman cared about this guy, and he starts playing Russian roulette. One plus, the Russian roulette scene doesn't go on too long. Literally on the second charge, shoots the guy in the head, and I'm like, damn, he's evil. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill everybody else that you know and that you love. And Metamorpho just starts crying. Like, he just starts bawling, crying, dude. I'm like, yo, chill out. You've been a prisoner how long? You're just now realizing that Lex Luthor is an evil asshole? Why are you just now crying like a bitch? That doesn't make any sense. And then he shows up later on in the film because reasons. We need him to help with the final fight. I know nothing else about this man besides the fact that he could turn into elements. That's all we know about him. Oh yeah, and his stupid fucking baby Joey that Superman was spending 15 minutes trying to save in the pocket dimension while he's going through a river of protons and trying to avoid a black hole. Again, we really didn't need a lot of these other characters in this film for it to work. We needed more time with Superman and everyone else. But you know who we needed less time with? Now I'm about to really get pissed off. I'm sorry, I told you there's things I didn't like about the film, and I'm about to talk about one of the major ones that I don't, and that is fucking Krypto.
Stupid dog.
I don't care, call me hollow, call me a dog hater, I don't care. Krypto was the kryptonite for this goddamn movie. I swear, every time this stupid dog showed up, dude, I wanted to scream, stupid dog! And it made it even worse because as I'm watching the film and I'm already irritated with Krypto, there's a stupid motherfucker in the row in front of me who's laughing. Oh, that's just like my dog. Shut up.
Stupid dog.
Shut up. I hate that, dude. No, that's emotional manipulation, dude. I'm not falling for it. James Gunn knows there's a lot of females, families, and soy boys that are going to watch Superman, and they're going to be like, oh my God, the cute dog. The cute dog. He wants to sell merch, and he loves his dog, so that's why he put the dog in the film this much.
Good for nothing dog.
Krypto was fucking annoying. Every time we have an emotional moment, guess what? Here comes Krypto. Every time we got a little action scene, guess what? Here comes Krypto. Oh, nothing is going on. Here comes Krypto doing something stupid. He did not need to be in the film this much. Literally, all he needed to be in is at the beginning of the film, gets kidnapped by Lex Luthor, and then at the end of the film. That's all we needed of him because he's supposed to be just like the bad dog or whatever. And that got tired so quickly.
Stupid little dog.
I would have much preferred if they started out with him as the bad dog. He gets captured by Lex Luthor. Superman goes and saves Krypto. And then in that moment, Krypto, because he is a smart dog, realizes that he needs to listen to Clark Kent. And then the dog matures. And then he becomes a better character. I wouldn't have been irritated with him that much if they would have did that. But no, he's just bad dog. He's bad dog. Oh, it's so cute. Look at the fucking dog. God, I hate that. He makes Baby Yoda look not as annoying. And then it got worse at the end of the film because guess who showed up? Supergirl. She came back to get her dog. And then watching how they portrayed Supergirl, I'm like, oh my God, they're doing the Tom King run of Supergirl. This is gonna be complete dog ass.
Stupid dog.
Again, I don't like Krypto in the film. He is a motherfucking negative to me. Do not bring that stupid dog back. I don't care. I don't care any sequels. If the only time we should see Krypto is like as a little cameo or something. Stop bringing up Krypto. I hate him. And speaking of hate, I have to talk about the one part of the film that is unredeemable for me. Krypto might have been able to be redeemable for me if I was high or some shit, but this part I could never forgive James Gunn for. He might have done a great job at the portrayal of Superman, but he did a horrible job at the portrayal of Jor-El. So as you know, Kal-El, who is Superman, who they barely call him that in the film, I don't even think they call him Kal-El once in the film. Jor-El and his wife wife Laura send him to Earth because they want him to live. They're not sending him there because they want him to be some maniacal tyrant or something like that. They just want their son to live a life. In this film, they turn Jor-El and Laura into fucking Viltrumites. I'm not joking. So the message that gets sent with Clark is that, oh, they sent him here to protect the people of Earth and to lead them and to love them and all these other things. But there's a part of the message that is cut off. So it turns out when Lex Luthor infiltrates the Fortress of Solitude that he decodes the second half of the message because of the engineer. And then the second half of the message is basically, hey, we sent you here so that you could rule over this planet, spread your seed across all these bitches, and keep the gene pool of Krypton alive. That's all it was. You turned them into Viltrumites. You did the same stupid ass thing that stupid cartoon Superman show was doing right now. I do not like that. That's not Jor-El. Jor-El is not some evil man that wants to spread the seed of Kryptonians. That's Zod. How are you going to do the character of Zod if you have Jor-El doing the exact same thing? What, you're going to say, well, I'm going to do my spin on it, and I'm going to have them both be maniacal assholes. No, James. Fuck no.
You raggedy bitch.
There's only so much that I can take, and that right there was almost where I was like, yeah, I'm checking out. I was holding out hope that maybe that wasn't actually what happened, because we know how Lex is. He likes to manipulate things, so maybe he made this up in order to make Superman look bad. But no, they confront Lex about it, one of the characters in the movie, and Lex goes, no, I'm not lying. That's exactly what it says. Superman asks Mr. Terrific, and Mr. Terrific is smart and knows linguistics, and he goes, no, this is correct. Everyone is saying it's true, so it's true. And then at the end of the film, they replaced the message of his original parents with his foster parents, Ma and Pa Kent. He has clips of them from when he was growing up as his parents, doubling down on the fact that Jor-El is now an evil man.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
I'm sorry, I can't forgive that. That is minus, like, I don't know how many points for me. As a fan of Superman, nah, dude. I couldn't let that slide. And speaking of Ma and Pa Kent, I thought that they were great. I'm sorry. I know some people are like, oh, they're like too country and bumpkin or whatever. Just because they have a country accent doesn't mean that they're retards, okay? That's not how it works. Oh, they're doing the joke where the grandma doesn't know how to talk into the phone correctly. You've seen that a million times. That doesn't mean that he's making fun of country people. And Paul Kent is an old man who cares about his son, legitimately loves his child, and his child loves him. There are moments in this film where you have a good father-son dynamic. I don't understand how anybody could dislike that. Like the moment after Superman is poisoned by the kryptonite and he has to go back home, Paul Kent is visibly upset because he loves his son. I felt that. I'm like, that's a good father-son moment. He cares about his child. If he would have went, well, yeah, my son will be fine, and walked out the door, everybody would have been complaining about that. So I don't see the issue there that I've been seeing online with that scene. There's something I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, Ultraman. That was stupid. They did the Ultraman thing like Bizarro. So yeah, Lex Luthor made a clone of Superman 3 years ago when Superman revealed himself to the world and studied all his moves and made Ultraman. And he's just Bizarro. And the only way that he could fight Superman is if he's getting instructions by Lex Luthor. And as soon as he's not able to because of that goddamn dog, he gets his ass whooped, and Superman inadvertently kills him by sending him into a black hole. Now, that part kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, you know, Superman doesn't kill. I don't think that he was actually trying to kill Ultraman, and I'm holding out hope that it's a retcon and that's not a black hole that actually goes into the negative zone. That would be a much better storytelling idea. But yeah, Ultraman's a non-factor, dude. He's just one of the antagonists that Superman fights at the end of the film, along with the engineer who gets her ass whooped by Superman as well, and a night scene where Superman actually defends himself. But the film wraps up with everybody learning that Lex Luthor is behind the entire plot about the two countries going toe-to-toe with each other. They're about to go into war, but the Justice Gang with Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl and all of them, they save the day, and Superman saves the day back in Metropolis, and everything is great. And then the film ends. And I won't lie to you guys, those moments that were irritating me, the dog, the constant jokes, the song choices just don't work. I'm sorry, I'm not that big on a lot of the rock songs that they were using, and I do wish that they had a better theme song. Like John Williams' theme is goated. You remixing it is kind of cool, but no, you kind of need your own identity for this new Superman, even though you keep paying homages to the classic. Like when they have the title card going to the screen in that classic fashion that the OG movies was doing. That's cool, but I kind of feel like you need your own identity. I might not like Man of Steel, but my God, Hans Zimmer's score is immaculate, dude. That shit transcends all time. No one will forget the Man of Steel score. It's great.
Yeah, see, you're playing it like this. When ordinarily it goes like this. I'm partially doing it in the key of A minor myself.
But even with all of those negatives and all of the things that I'm complaining about, the package as a whole, even though most of it is superficial when it comes to a lot of side characters and the story and all that stuff, it works. Like, it does exactly what it needs to do. It tells a story that's kind of simplistic. It introduces us to the world of this new DCU. And by the end of the film, I didn't hate the entire cast because they were telling me how awesome they were and how selfish they were.
Yeah, I know, I'm a criminal.
Black girl magic.
And our heroes were actually saving people and wanting to save people, all of them. And that is, again, a breath of fresh air in the current climate that we have. So maybe it's the bigotry of low expectations when it comes to superhero films, but I did enjoy it and I would recommend it. Is this the Batman levels of storytelling though? Nah, the Batman's still superior, dog. I'm sorry. But this is a good start to the universe that James Gunn is doing. If you like Guardians of the Galaxy, you will like this. And I love the Guardians of the Galaxy films. All three of them. And I like his version of the Suicide Squad. I thought it was great. I think Peacemaker is ass, but I do like everything else that he does. And I can't believe I'm about to say it, but he does a decent job with the film of Superman. Again, it's very rare that I go into a film and I walk out of the theater and I'm like, wow, that felt good. I haven't felt like that this year. Only Sinners and F1 have done it for me. And Superman is doing it for me. So I'm giving it some extra points for that. Because yes, I am a cynical man. Yes, I'm not a turn your brain off and just enjoy it kind of guy. As you see with this entire video, I'm still pulling shit apart from the Superman film, but I'm able to acknowledge the fun factor and the decent factor of the film. I might say it again, to be honest. I think I might take the family and we'll all go watch it. Y'all will definitely enjoy this movie. But if you're going into the film to hate it, you're gonna hate it. I'm sorry, you just are. If you don't like James Gunn isms, you're gonna hate it. If you don't like the jokes, you're gonna hate it. If you don't like rock music and all the musical choices that he makes, and then the spinning camera shit that he's been doing recently with a lot of his movies, you're going to hate it, and that's completely fine. This platform is for people to tell their opinions and then other people to converse in the comments. I'm not here to sway you one way or the other about the film. I'm just giving my perspective. And I enjoyed it. And again, as somebody who doesn't enjoy a lot of the shit that Hollywood churns out of his asshole, I am thankful for this. This will be a good start. Hopefully, in future films, again, somebody else writes and directs and we get a more tighter story for Superman, because David Cornsweet, again, he has it, dog. I don't like to give scores because, you know, numbers are subjective, letters are subjective and stuff like that. I like to rate things on the value of your most precious resource, which is your time. And I feel like it is worth your time. You will have a good time if you go and watch Superman. But those are all my thoughts on the movie. Y'all let me know what you think down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Or are you indifferent and don't give a shit? We'll talk about it in the comments. Put it down there. Give me some feedback on the video, positive or negative. You guys be great, be safe, be well. I will see you on the next one. Peace out, man.
Stupid dog.
I ain't gonna
Alright, B, we got that scrap on you. What up, y'all?
Alright, I'ma fuck with you.
Alright, bro.